But we want to talk to you a little bit about preparation because the world is preparing. Yesterday in Illinois, they passed I think in their Senate, they passed a bill that is for gold and silver registry. Well, why are you registering all the gold and silver? Why does the state of Illinois think that they need to know who has gold and who has silver? And if your name is on a list, does that put you as a target? Do you trust that the state of Illinois is so clean and so capable of protecting that financial information that your name somehow or another is not going to get out onto a list and be out someplace where somebody who is a very well-to-do criminal mind couldn't get access to that list and rob your house? I mean, is that crazy talk? What they're doing is Illinois is cratering financially. Illinois is cratering. California is cratering. New York is cratering. As these states, Michigan, start to crater, if they're being run by progressives, you're in trouble because they'll do whatever they have. You drowning people, they'll grab onto anything and they'll pull you down. But I also think that they will share the information with the federal government. I'm not getting any information from me. Oh, now is that all of a sudden am I a criminal? Yes, that's the way it will work in the future. Same thing with the guns. You weren't a criminal for something before, and now all of a sudden it's criminal to have it. And if you decide, I'm not playing by that rule. Do you know that the Supreme Court decision on the Second Amendment, that was a 5-4 decision. That's one. You change the ruling by one vote, and you don't have a Second Amendment. Then what? Then what do you do? I mean, we're in a different world. Have you gotten to the place yet where you don't recognize your country? ExxonMobil just came out with a Common Core commercial in support of Common Core. I want to play it for you here in a second. But I believe I know why this is happening. You have the Republicans on one side supporting Common Core. Why? Because they are friends of big, huge global business. And so they don't have necessarily the design to take all of the data mining from your children and use it as a government. But they want to make sure that these big, huge global corporations, they want that data mining. So they'll do it. You want to talk about big oil? You want to talk about another tip-off here to the left? It should be a tip-off that this is a bad thing. ExxonMobil now is running commercials for Common Core. If this is just testing, why does ExxonMobil care? Oh, because it's going to change things so much. Really? It's going to, so they're spending money in an ad campaign because it's going to help our children 20 years from now. So ExxonMobil will have do you think they care about the country? ExxonMobil, really? They're a global corporation. They want the data mining because if they can data mine, they know everything about your family. They know about everything about how you're moving. They know it will give them information, sure, to make it better for you. So the Republicans are all for this because they're for big, giant global corporations. The Democrats are for this because they're for the progressive utopia. Either one of these things, one is the island where it's all the corporation. The other is communism. Which one do you want? I say neither. Here's the ad from ExxonMobil.
45 states have joined together to ensure consistent academic standards across America. These internationally recognized benchmarks are unlocking a better way to prepare our children for college and their careers. Because when our kids do better, America does better. Let's reach higher. Let's invest in our teachers and inspire our students. Let's solve this.
Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful?
What the hell does that have to do with oil?
Nothing. Not a thing.
Get me a better selection of baked goods at your convenience stores. Stop worrying about that.
You know what that is? This is a favor to somebody in Washington.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
That's all this is.
Yes, it
Listen, we'll help you on Common Core, but you help us on this. That's all this is. This should be yet another tip-off that you don't want this because there's something else. Why would someone in Washington want this so badly that they would cash in a gigantic chip with ExxonMobil? This is not a little favor. This is not like, hey, Bill, could you just call a friend and you just help me out on this? This is, will you design an ad campaign to help me sell with me not attached, just you all by yourself out there saying Common Core is a good thing? Would you do that for me?
And spend millions of dollars on all sorts of media sources to get that message out.
Yeah.
What favor is being done here?
And ExxonMobil doesn't care if they're hurting. ExxonMobil cares about ExxonMobil, and that's it.
They're shareholders.
That's it.
So
that's why they don't even defend themselves, because they know for a fact that they don't have to.
Okay,
because in the end they win because we need oil.
Here's the thing too. You're not a privately held company, so shareholders could say, why did you spend millions of dollars on this Common Core thing? How did that help us, ExxonMobil? How did that help us? Listen to them hem and haw. Well, it helps all of us if the country is stronger and we're going to have smarter kids. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm a shareholder. Why don't you use that money to say ExxonMobil is great and we should be able to explore on the land that we currently have a lease on? How about that one? Why Common Core? Shareholders, ask the question. They'll never give you a straight answer because it is completely disconnected from oil. And there's nobody, you want to hate ExxonMobil left, here it is. You'll not see them follow the money on this one because they're coexisting.
Fits their
the
agenda.
Left, the Republicans and the Democrats, for different agendas, are going for Common Core. You are the loser because there isn't anybody. I mean, we are working with FreedomWorks. I got a note from Matt Kibbe last night. He said, Glenn, this is on the surface, it's bad. He said, the more you look into it, the worse it gets. He said, you start to pop the hood on this thing, and it's a nasty engine. Nasty. It is. It is. You start looking into it. Now, just logically ask yourself, why would ExxonMobil spend that kind of money? And are they doing a favor for this administration, or are they doing a favor for the Republicans? But some political entity called in a chip and said, spend millions of dollars on this and we'll help you on whatever it is they want help on. That's what's happening.
It paves the way for whatever they want to get done.
Yeah, and maybe they want oil leases. Maybe it greases the skids for them in that way. I don't know.
And for a variety of reasons, you will not see Common Core covered on any of the other networks. You won't see it, except in a positive way. Or maybe just a slight ding here and there. Nobody's gonna tell you the truth on this one. Because they're all involved. MSNBC, Microsoft, NBC. Who is one of the big supporters? Bill Gates, Microsoft. And on the right, Rupert Murdoch is one of the big supporters of Common Core. Didn't he write some of the software or fund some of the software writing or something like that? He was a big investor in Common Core. Hello?
Boy, this thing runs so deep. We just found out that, is it David Coleman, the head of the group that administers the SAT, was the architect of Common Core.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, SAT and the AP program, the Advanced Placement Program, too, all tied into Common Core.
Yeah.
So, again, unless you're in Common Core, you're not going to be able to pass these SAT college entrance exams. You just won't be able to go into college.
No. And
They've
you know
got
what?
This whole thing figured out for you.
I said to my wife the other night, my kids aren't going to go to college. They're just not going to go to college. They won't. We will find somebody that they can intern for. They'll have to do their own thing. I am not sending another child to college. I won't do it. They're being indoctrinated. I'm not going to give them my money. Look, I know this. Everybody would say that this is going to enslave your child, et cetera, but you know what? I would rather be a mechanic and a bad mechanic working at a gas station, down the street that nobody goes to. I'd rather be a mechanic than in the system that is coming. And your kids are going to be in an absolute system. And I know what that means. I really, truly believe this is really a really scary thing. But start looking for, just be aware. Just be aware that there are many ways to mark people. Just many ways to tag them, and just be aware and be very careful, because the system that is coming is